Hey gang, what's up? Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. So we have our one of our favorites, Michelle Ferreri, like former MP. She'll be back in the House like after some by-election. We'll see. Anyhow, she has something to say. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna watch it right now with you and find out what Michelle has to say. She was always one of our favorites here, right? So let's take a peek. Michelle Ferreri. Obviously, she will be on fire.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Michelle Ferreri here. Listen, I know we have short attention spans. I know we have, 20, 30-second attention spans in this digital age, but I'm going to ask you to get comfortable and please watch this entire video. So today is August 29th when I'm recording this video. Pierre Poilievre has just done a press conference a few hours ago after when I'm recording this. And he's basically proposing a bill by the conservatives called the On Guard law. And this is in response to the public outrage after a gentleman, I'm not even going to call him a gentleman, a criminal broke into another guy's home in Lindsay, Ontario, with a crossbow, broke into his daughter's room. The homeowner then used a knife to attack him and almost killed him. He was airlifted, and I don't even know the state that he's in, but the homeowner was charged. And so this resurfaced the debate of what is reasonable for you to allow to protect your home. Because right now, under the current criminal Canadian law, it's so vague. Like it's up to discretion of the judge and all of these different things, and it's very unclear. So Pierre has suggested, the Conservatives has suggested that they change section 34.2 of the criminal code, which would now state, under this new proposal, the use of force, including lethal force, is presumed reasonable against an individual who unlawfully enters your home. And I think most people can get behind this. Like, this is truly common sense. Somebody breaks into your home, your castle, for lack of better term, and you should have the right to absolutely defend your family and yourself by all means possible. I did a tongue-in-cheek video on this in response to this, but it's like, how about you don't break into people's homes? Then you don't have to worry about getting shot or killed. Solves the problem pretty quickly. So that's one piece of it in terms of the conservatives and crime and what's happening in this country. But I really, really, really want you to get comfortable for this next part. And I probably should do this in two videos, but the reality is these two things are so deeply connected. Here's what the elephant in the room is that nobody really wants to talk about. And because this one example doesn't include it, I think it doesn't warrant it for some people. Why is crime so rampant in our streets? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, we have way more drugs, and drugs influence you and make you a criminal because you need drugs, and you'll do anything by any means to get those drugs that are highly addictive that the government is funding. And that's one major issue. The second issue is our immigration system. So I had a police officer phone me and a couple of victims phone me. They're whistleblowers. They're like, please don't reveal our names, Michelle, but we don't know what else to do other than to call you to get this information out. And I'm like, okay. And I know a lot of things that most people don't know because I had the privilege to sit as a member of parliament and be inside and see the policies that are so, quite frankly, catastrophic for our country. Many of you are experiencing them. But one of the biggest issues that we're seeing now surface is our out of control immigration system under the Liberals. So what happened was they let way too many people in. You have a fraudulent program, the LMIA, Temporary Foreign Worker Program, where employers are subsidized to hire immigrants, new Canadians, and as a result, Canadians are losing opportunities for positions. But even bigger than that is you have let in a bunch of criminals. In fact, folks, there are 600 illegal immigrants in Canada that are violent criminals that the Liberals don't know where they are. That should be deported, but they don't know where they are. They can't find them. Those are the ones we know of. So, what do I want to tell you? In Peterborough, Ontario, there is a gentleman. He is wreaking havoc on our streets. He is sexually assaulting women. He is trafficking women. These women are scared to death to come forward to talk about this man or to share their story because they believe that he will kill them. He is a drug trafficker. He is weapons. He's all these things, and he's been charged. He's been charged a few times. But guess what he did? Well, he came here, folks, from Trinidad, Tobago, and he has since claimed refugee status. Refugee status. So I just want to give you some context here. Bear with me as I pull this up. Here's what I wanted to show you. Can somebody who is charged with a crime in Canada claim refugee status? If someone in Canada as a temporary resident, visitor, student, or worker is charged with a criminal offense, they don't automatically lose status. If convicted of certain offenses, they can become inadmissible to Canada on criminality grounds. Even while charges are pending, CBSA, Canada Border Services Agency, can start a removal process if the offense falls under serious criminality. Folks, in short, a temporary resident can still make a refugee claim even if charged with a crime. But if it's a serious crime, especially with conviction and a 6+ month sentence, they may be barred from making a claim or later refused protection. Minor charges don't automatically block a refugee claim, but they complicate the process and can affect admissibility down the road. Folks, let me break this down for you. Number one, there's a process. Let's get rid of that. You commit a crime, you shoot somebody, you rape somebody, you are trafficking drugs in our country. No process, friend. Get the hell out. You're not even a Canadian citizen. Number one. Number two, this is the insane part. You have to be convicted. Well, we don't do that in Canada. In fact, we just let you out on bail. And there's the perfect example of the judge. I can't remember where. It was in Ontario, I believe. And the judge said, well, I don't want to charge you because it might impact your permanent resident status. Guys, you want to talk about a problem in this country that is undiagnosed, that is the rot that we see on the seat that in the streets, that we see gangs, violence, pedophiles online, human trafficking at exponential numbers, drug trafficking, human trafficking where women are living in fear. But you know what? You can stay as a refugee. Wait, it gets even better. Okay. What the payment looks like when you're a refugee. Oh, yes, not only are you now a criminal and you got to claim refugee status, and we'll take the process to see whether or not you get in or out, but we'll let you stay in our country while you're a criminal out on bail. We're going to pay you. So the cops, this is what's so frustrating for the police officers. These police officers are doing everything that's asked of them, but now they have to use their resources, their time to prove that he's a criminal instead of just automatically deporting the man that is shooting and raping women. Oh, guys, and. So I don't know if you saw the video I did not too long ago with a 71-year-old named Brian who lives in his truck with his dog because he can't find housing. But don't worry, Brian, if you were a refugee and you were out terrorizing the streets, you'd get a house. Oh, yes. Yes, you would. A refugee is already recognized as needing protection. Oh, sorry. This is the difference between a refugee, an asylum seeker, and an immigrant. So I'll come back to that in a second. But I want to show you what they get paid. I can't with this, you guys. Okay. You have to bear with me because I'm trying to pull it up. Um, where is it? Sorry, guys. Thank you for your patience. It's not a salary or a wage. It's usually basic income support, enough to cover food, rent, and essentials, roughly equivalent to what a low-income Canadian welfare might receive. What about low-income Canadians who are working their ass off that can't make ends meet because they're taxed to death? For example, a single government-assisted refugee in Ontario might get about $700 to $1,000 per month for living costs, plus one-time help with startup costs, including clothing or furniture. What is a refugee? Under IRPA Section 96, a convention refugee is a person who, by reason of a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group or political opinion, is outside their country of nationality and unable or unwilling to return, or if they have no nationality outside the country where they habitually lived and unable or unwilling to return. Can we claim refugee status from the criminals that are living in Canada, taking our money, our resources, our time, and terrorizing our streets? That's what I'd like to know. This is insane. This is insane. Like, we have a massive scarcity problem. We have the highest youth unemployment rate. You can't find housing. You can't get healthcare. They get healthcare when you claim refugee status. You get that. Yeah. Yeah. True story. Now, are there legit refugees? 10,000%, 100% there are. But this guy? This guy? No. And don't worry, I can name him because he's already named in the police statement. His name is Jomo Frederick. Look him up. That's just one in Peterborough. That's just one. It's happening across this country. And I do have a very serious message right now for all of the victims who are too afraid to come forward because they're worried that this man is going to kill them. We will do everything, conservatives in particular, to restore the rights of victims so that your rights come before criminals' rights. This is insane. This is insane. This is insane that we are in 2025 and conservatives have to put forward policy and bills that give the homeowner the right to protect their family. Like, we are in the upside down. This is an episode of Black Mirror. And I think the biggest thing we can do, people say to me, so what do we do, Michelle? What do we do? Number one, you have to know what you have to have the information to know this. And if people don't know this, then how do they ever know? Right? And there's still lots of people out there, folks, that are persuadable in terms of voting records of like, yes, they may have voted Liberal because they thought it was the right thing to do, or they may have voted NDP. Guys, it's not working. And we have to talk to those people. We have to give them information. We don't need to preach at them. We don't need to berate them. We don't need to put them down. We just need to show them the facts. And these are the real facts. And unfortunately, until you are impacted directly by these crime statistics and your family is victim to one of them, maybe it means nothing to you. But this is insane. If you come into Canada and you are a criminal terrorizing our streets, get the hell out. Deport them now. Like, do you know this guy? The police officer went on to tell me, he goes, Michelle, he claims 0% income and he has $3 million in the bank. These are the stories that are happening. And people will come back and say, Michelle, this has always been the way. There's always been criminals. Not at this magnitude. Not at this magnitude. Like, so I was telling you this before, and I'm sorry to keep ranting. And I know I told you I'm talking too long. I get it. But asylum claimants in 2015 was 9,999. In 2025, asylum claimants is 291,975. That's a 2,800% increase. Now, what I wanted to know and I wanted to share with you was, what is the difference between an asylum claimant, an immigrant, and a refugee? A refugee is already recognized as needing protection. An asylum seeker is a refugee claimant, is asking to be recognized, and an immigrant is choosing to move for opportunity, not fleeing persecution. And at the beginning of this video, I had told you that there are 600 known criminals, illegal immigrants, that are criminals in Canada that the Liberals cannot find. They're at large. Nobody knows where they are. They're out terrorizing the street, doing drugs, dealing drugs, human trafficking, guns, all the things, and nobody knows where they are. They can't deport them because they don't even know where they are. So here's the question I have that I hope gets asked in the House of Commons. How many refugees have criminal records in this country? How many asylum claimants have criminal records in this country? How many are out on bail? You wonder why we have so many victims, why we have so many traumatized people in this country. because it is upside down. And criminals, illegal immigrant criminals, have more rights than Canadian victims in this country. Sit on it. Stop voting Liberal. That's your first start. Start sharing this message. Let's go. Let's keep talking. They'll want to shut you up. Don't. The best and most useful tool I can tell you in politics is pressure. Pressure builds diamonds, and it is the thing that will make them change their mind and make them change policy when you threaten to take their vote. You have the power, not them. I can't stress this enough. You have the power. And if you are loyal to a party because you believe that they are the best thing ever, then go in, knock on their door, and tell them to change this shit. Because your family's safety is at risk, your children's future is at risk, because they are taking the resources and terrorizing our communities. And I don't know anybody who wants that other than sociopaths. And I don't believe that the majority of you are. I believe that you got duped into voting for the wrong party. And it happens. It happens all the time because that's what great gaslighters and manipulators do. They tell you they are great and they're the people here to save you. They're not. They're here to take and use their power for bad.
So there you go.
Welcome.
Speaking as a European,
WTF.
Here, here.
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
More than just elbows.
and as the most European of the non-European countries,
being aware of what potential conflicts of interest you
What
sought
possible
to avoid.
conflict would you have, Stephanie? Stephanie, I'm complying with the rules. I'm complying with the rules in advance. Come on, Fiona.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, you're spending more money on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
All right, gang, thank you all very much for watching. Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe. Smash that subscribe. We're trying to grow this thing. Canadian Federal Politics. Get yours right here. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.